What's up, Kings fans? Welcome back to another episode of Tradin Jabs. Joining me this week is Kings 2021 second round draft pick, current captain of the Kitchener Rangers, and newly signed member of the Los Angeles Kings organization, Francesco Pinelli. Francesco, congratulations on the new signed ELC, and welcome to Tradin Jabs.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about that contract. This past week you put pen to paper and signed your ELC with the Los Angeles Kings organization. Take me through how that developed and what led to this being the right time for you.
Oh yeah, my agent just kind of reached out to me and set up a call, and then we had a meeting, and he kind of told me I was signing. So it was definitely a really special day for me and my family, and to get that kind of done, and felt really good for sure.
Yeah, well, you've accomplished quite a bit in the last, 9 months or so. You get drafted by the Kings. You're named captain of Kitchener, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But now you've signed your ELC. Have you been able to kind of step back and realize what you've accomplished and kind of take in what you've been able to achieve over these last 9 months or so?
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, we have a busy season here, and with the Kitchener Rangers, we got playoffs coming up too as well. So I've been really busy and stuff like that. So
absolutely. You talk about, playoffs coming up on the season. You've got over a point per game through 56 games, a phenomenal season as a two-way centerman. How would you assess the way that you've been able to grow in terms of statistically, but also style of play from year 1 to year 2 for the Kitchener Rangers?
Oh yeah, I think my defensive zone has been really good. I developed that into a very good two-way center, so I'm really happy with how that panned out, and I'm gonna continue to work on my game and nail down all the details into my game, and making sure I can be the best player I can be for the Rangers and also for the Kings in the future.
You mentioned being the best player that you can be. For Kings fans who might not see you on a daily basis as you're up in Ontario, Canada, who is Francesco Pinelli, the hockey player on the ice?
A two-way center that can play wing, very versatile. I'm a 5-tool player. I can play PK, PP. I'm very offensive, but also takes responsibility in the defensive zone, and I also love to be creative out there as well.
Absolutely. Well, I mentioned you were named captain back in October. You and I spoke for a piece on LAKingsInsider.com. How have you developed your voice or your ability to be a leader in the time that you've been a captain of Kitchener? Obviously, it doesn't just mean that you've grown into it as this season has come along, but your journey. This is your second year with Kitchener. You've obviously got the C on your chest. How have you been able to build up that voice in the locker room and try to be the best example as possible for a hockey player?
Obviously, it felt good being named captain for the Kitchener Rangers, and I think just leading by example every day, showing up to the rink and putting in the work and making sure everyone else is doing the right things to help the team win and give us the best success. So just leading by example and stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, no question. It's obviously come through in the way that you play, and obviously in talking to you. The Kings really seem to have developed an identity in terms of the players they're after in the draft, and that's players who are well put together on the ice in terms of their ability to play multiple areas and situations, but also people off the ice. And take me back to your original conversations with the Kings before you were drafted. How did you feel about a team like the LA Kings drafting you?
Yeah, obviously, to think about that is really cool. I remember they reached out to me when I was playing in Sylvania, and I just remember talking to them, and they really liked my game and how I played and stuff. So for them to reach out and give some good feedback felt really good for sure.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that feedback, and obviously that dates back to Slovenia. You've been, working with them a little bit throughout the year in terms of player development, and obviously they're keeping an eye on everything you're doing up there. How have the Kings been able to help you develop your game this season, even though you're not necessarily in a Kings uniform?
Yeah, I reach out to the development guys, Mike Donnelly and Jarrett Stoll, and they kind of, we work on face-offs and stuff like that, and we kind of communicate back and forth. And I'm really happy, and they've done a great job with communicating with me, and we keep in touch all the time, so it's great.
Awesome. Well, you've got the postseason coming up here in just a few days. You've got a matchup against the London Knights, a team that you guys went 4-6 against this season, and a team that you've actually had more success than in the last second half of the season. In terms of strategy, mindset, as someone who has a C on their chest, how do you go into a matchup as a 7 seed going up against the London Knights team who's second in the East or the West?
Yeah, obviously, to play a hard game. I think, we were 4-0 against them at one point. So I think we have a really good chance against this team. And, I think our team's come together really good the last half of the season. And we got to continue to play that game and, follow what our coaches are saying. And I think we'll be very successful for sure.
We'll finish this off here with some quick hits, just some quick questions, get to know you a little bit more. You're a centerman growing up, obviously have that wing versatile ability. Who was your favorite player growing up and why?
I think I always liked John Tavares or a Draisaitl. I kind of model my game after them a little bit too. So I just think, they're both very, very skilled and very smart. But they also got great leadership. And overall game is very strong as well.
As every athlete has different ways to go about their pregame routines. For you specifically, what's the pregame meal like, and what has to be on that plate?
Yeah, I usually do chicken and pasta. But if I ever do change it up, it'll probably be just chicken and rice. So it's pretty simple, but yeah.
Yeah, you got to get the carbs in, you got to get the proteins. Chicken and pasta, chicken and rice. It's pretty on par with everyone, but it's definitely vital. Go to pregame music. Who's in the headset or the AirPods as you're getting ready for the game?
I like 50 Cent, Eminem, those kind of guys.
Yeah,
Pop Smoke, he's pretty good. So those kind of artists I really like.
Gets the blood pumping.
Yeah.
And then the last one here, as I think every athlete is superstitious. Do you have any superstitions, and what might they be?
Yeah, I mean, I get dressed a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Getting dressed and also eating at certain times and leaving the house at certain times and taking showers and stuff like that. So
absolutely. Hey, Francesco, congratulations on the signed entry-level contract with the LA Kings, and thanks for joining Tradin Jabs.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you having me on, and thank you.